Right. Mr. Taylor is my next questioner. And there's a question in relation to the Council's tree protocol.
I'd like to ask if the Council's tree protocol applies in the north of the city. And the reason I'm asking that is in relation to the proposed felling or destructive pruning of the trees in Alexandra Gardens. When the notices went up on those trees, they didn't go up on all the trees to be affected, and the details were not online at the time that the notices first went up. And both of those things are required by the tree protocol. Now the decision on those trees has been deferred. There are no notices on those trees at the moment, and I don't think, well, I'm certainly not aware, and I objected the first time around, to any new deadlines for making any objections to the second round of the decision. And I'd like to just make a suggestion for Councillor Cantrell, Executive Councillor responsible. But something that his predecessor did was that she didn't go out to consultation on tree works unless she approved the consultation. And I think that might be a good idea to prevent alarm and to prevent residents having to object to tree works if there is no serious possibility of them actually coming to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I noticed this evening on my way up here that the signs were no longer on the trees. Of course, there can be third-party action in relation to such matters. And, I don't think the council can visit the site daily to ensure that there are notices displayed. Councillor Blair.
In regard to your general question about the City Council's tree protocol, it certainly does apply to all trees on City Council owned land, which I think I'm correct to say are some 17,000 trees in our administrative boundaries. It does not apply to trees on the highway, even where these are managed by the City Council's arboricultural team. However, temporary arrangements have been put in place with the full agreement of the County Council Highways Department to ensure that objections to tree works can be considered on trees on the highway, until the County Council itself has agreed its own protocol, and I'm sure Mr Taylor will understand that that will cover not only the City of Cambridge, but the entire county of Cambridgeshire, and therefore needs to be something that suits themselves. With regards to the trees in Alexandra Gardens, this was deferred from the agenda of the recent planning committee. I will undertake, together with the committee manager, to find out what further consultation or actions are being taken. I'm not personally aware of them, and any other comments that he has made, I'm sure, will be passed on to Councillor Cantrell.
Councillor Ward wishes to add something further.
Yes, I would like to apologise to the public on behalf of the Council for the failings in the consultation process so far. The next stage that will be visible to the Councillor Cantrell is running around doing all sorts of stuff, but the next stage that will be immediately visible to the public is a public meeting, which we believe will be on Friday the 15th of October, presumably in the evening, possibly in the Guildhall. There's some difficulty in finding a venue at short notice for the number of people that we expect to be interested in turning up to this meeting, and a full range of arboricultural, technical and legal options are being investigated. There is no fresh consultation at the moment because those options have not yet been identified, but when they are identified, I really do hope the consultation will be better managed the next time around.
Thank you. Mr Taylor, do you want to come back at all on that?
That's all absolutely excellent. Just one other quick comment on this is in terms of freedom of information, getting some information out. I know I've made a request and so have some of the other local residents in the area, and we haven't been able to find any details of the basis on which the council's tree officer has said that these trees have to go. So will our request be responded to, presumably at that meeting or in time for that meeting?
The last I heard, the lawyers were still arguing about which names and addresses and stuff needed tippexing out, and there was a question of, I think there was some question of getting permission from the consultants their report to be used in a way which they hadn't contracted for it to be used. I sincerely hope that there will be large quantities of paper available soon at the meeting.
Thank you. There is a further question put down by Mr. Councillor Todd-Jones.
Thank you, Chair. Just to follow up a little bit, I'm not going to go into the detail of any particular submission I've made, but I made a detailed submission on both the process, which I thought was very inadequate, as well as the substantial report. But I would have thought, given that notices were posted on the tree relating to the Planning Committee on the 22nd of September, that the same would have to apply, given my understanding that it's, at the moment this item is still going to the Planning Committee on the 20th of October, and therefore we would expect the notice to be posted upon the trees as per the previous notice. I don't quite understand if the October planning meeting, the item is going to be heard.
I think Councillor Todd-Jones, you're under misapprehension. As far as I understand, it's going to the November Planning Committee
that might
meeting.
Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, actually, whether it has been formally deferred to the November Planning Committee.
That is my understanding.
That's your understanding. Okay, thank you.
Okay, that brings the open forum to a close.